Listen here and listen well. If you had to choose only a single Bond film to watch, choose this one. And I'm going to explain to you exactly why.
Now, pay attention, please.
Goldfinger! It's the film, the best in the whole franchise. Well, at least top 5. Hey guys, and welcome back to DB Reviews. And today I am reviewing Goldfinger, directed by Guy, not Terrence Young Hamilton, and starring Sean Connery in his third appearance as 007. And alright, spoiler alert, it's his best performance. It's his best film. It's one of the best in the whole series! Alright, I'll calm down now. But seriously, this film is a landmark of the series, and a huge improvement over the previous 2 installments. But why? What makes this one so special? Well, let me tell you. Right off the bat, this film feels different. We see James Bond exiting a small body of water with scuba gear and a bird hat. He uses a grappling hook to take out a guard, enters a building through a secret door, rigs a bunch of containers with explosive gel, and leaves the building. We find out he's rocking a white suit underneath the scuba gear, with the bow tie and the flower and everything. He enters a small nightclub. The building explodes. James Bond isn't fazed. He exchanges some small talk, enters a room with a naked lady in it, kisses her, gets attacked by a bad guy, and kills him in shocking fashion.
Positively shocking.
Oh my god, that was insane. That's what you call a great pre-title sequence. It sets up the tone for the rest of the film perfectly, and it distinguishes itself from the previous 2 films, which had a distinctly more serious tone to them. The opening leads directly to the song Goldfinger, which serves both as the opening theme and as the villain's theme song. Multitasking, am I right? What can I say about this song that hasn't already been said? It's fantastic. Shirley Bassey's powerful vocals and the bombastic brass accompaniment is just... it's just so good! Such a great way to start off the film. Now, what makes this film work so well is that it knows where to keep its focus. The previous films took time for the respective plots to piece together, as James Bond slowly unraveled what was in front of him and who the actual enemy was. Not so in Goldfinger. This film hits the ground running, establishing the main protagonist, the main antagonist, and their relationship in the very first scene following the opening theme. And that relationship is very easy to understand. The villain, Goldfinger, has an evil plan, and the hero, James Bond, tries to stop him. That's it! It's that simple! The film is structured as a battle of wits between 2 polar opposites. Both characters have their moments in the sun, as each of them tries to get the upper hand over the other. It's a great clash between 2 great characters.
Mr. Bond?
Yes?
This is Mr. Goldfinger.
So, let's talk about them, starting with James Bond himself.
A martini, shaken, not stirred.
More than in any of his other performances, it truly feels like Connery is really allowing himself to have fun in the role, and it shows. He is at his most comfortable and at his most confident here, which is really saying something considering that this is probably the film where Bond finds himself in the most trouble yet. Okay. He gets knocked unconscious, crashes his car, gets tranquilized, gets locked in a cell, almost falls from the sky, gets shot at multiple times, gets beaten half to death, and, in what is probably the most iconic scene in the film, gets tied to a golden table whilst a deadly laser slowly creeps its way up to his valuables.
Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
So, how does James Bond respond to this level of adversity? With a lovely smile and a dose of British charm. There's no other way to say it. Sean Connery is James Bond in this film. And yet, even with all that, James Bond actually plays second fiddle to the villain. Auric Goldfinger steals the show. Don't let his looks deceive you, ladies and gentlemen. He may not seem like anything special at first, but take my word for it. He may just be Bond's greatest ever villain. Goldfinger is many things. He's rich, he's ambitious, he's motivated by greed, he's a sore loser, he's a conniving, scheming, double-crossing, gold-loving mastermind. But most importantly, He is what every great villain should be, a perfect foil for the hero.
It seems I'm too good for you.
Honestly, the biggest reason why James Bond is such a great protagonist in this film is because he has an equally wonderful antagonist to work off of. The excellent golf scene, where the two characters meet for the first time, showcases this perfectly. Each character sporting a facade of sportsmanship, but underneath the surface, doing whatever it takes to win. James Bond even resorting to cheating a cheater. But back to Goldfinger for a second. Another important aspect that makes Goldfinger such a great villain is that he's actually good at what he does. A competent villain is the best kind of villain, and Goldfinger certainly fits that description.
It always feels like Goldfinger is on top of things, like he's in control of the situation. He really is Bond's equal when it comes to intelligence. So much so that his master plan even takes Bond by surprise.
I apologize, Goldfinger. It's an inspired deal.
All in all, Goldfinger is a superb on-screen baddie and deserves his place in the pantheon of villainous greats. But wait, there's more, because he's not alone. Meet Oddjob, Goldfinger's Korean manservant. He's mute, he's freakishly strong, and he can decapitate you with his hat.
God, that's awesome! Oddjob is the first proper henchman in the series, and serves as an excellent physical threat to Bond in the film. Every time he shows up, you know Bond is in for a bruising. Oddjob is the missing piece of the puzzle. He's not his own character. He serves as an extension of Goldfinger in the film. However, with his inclusion, he is able to push Goldfinger over the line from being merely a spectacular villain to being one of the greatest villains of all time. Goldfinger and Oddjob truly are a pair like no other. The definition of iconic. And speaking of iconic...
My name is Pussy Galore.
I must be dreaming.
Yes, Pussy Galore is the Bond girl in this film. She is played by Honor Blackman, and surprise! She is also very, very good. Just as Goldfinger is a revelation when it comes to Bond villains, Pussy Galore is a revelation when it comes to Bond girls. Mostly because she's the first to truly feel like Bond's equal. Unlike the previous two Bond girls, who were literally dragged around at some point by the British secret agent, Pussy Galore stands her ground, initially unaffected by Bond's casual flirtation. And while she eventually does succumb to Bond's, charm, it doesn't take away from her strength as a character. And honestly, I just enjoy watching these two together. They have excellent chemistry and they're a joy to watch whenever they're on screen together. This whole film is a joy. It's like watching a live performance of a band like Deep Purple or Jethro Tull or the Rolling Stones today, wondering to yourself, they're pretty old by now. Are they still gonna rock? And then they do. This film, more than the previous two, established the James Bond formula for years to come, and it introduced so many firsts to the series. The first proper henchman, the first pre-title sequence unrelated to the main plot of the film, the first appearance of the Aston Martin, I mean, my god!
You're joking.
I never joke about my work, 007.
That's Desmond Llewellyn as Q, who has already appeared once before in From Russia with Love, but it really is in Goldfinger where James Bond's ridiculous signature gadgets first come into play.
You'll find a little red button. Whatever you do, don't touch it.
Why not?
So, to summarize, if I had to use a single word to describe this film, it would be fun. Ridiculous, but still awesome. Sure, there's nothing too deep or complex about it. Most of the qualities of the film are surface level, but who cares? I mean, fine, it might not be a masterpiece or anything, but it doesn't need to be anything more than what it is, which is an incredibly well-made action spy adventure. It has a brisk pace, it's very self-aware, the characters are larger than life, and watching them interact with one another is glorious. Goldfinger is the gold standard. It's iconic, and it's more than just a great Bond film. It's a great film in general, which is why I believe Goldfinger is more than a classic. It's a timeless classic. It holds up today just as well as when it first came out. and I believe that it will stand the test of time for the rest of time. And with that, the review is over. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. If you want to see more James Bond reviews, click right here. And please let me know in the comments which movies you'd like to see me review in the future. Until next time, have a good one.